Hey everybody, it's me, Tony TC Coleman, with my Drummer Knows Best podcast on an unlimited podcast too, because we talk about everything. But today my guest is really, really special. He's really cool, and he's down there in my state, in Florida, where I'm from. Actually, we grew up in the same neighborhood, so to speak. But I'm just jealous of this guy because his fro, he still got a fro, and it's just. Anyway, Selwyn Birchwood. Hey, Tony TC Coleman, drummer nose.
That's what I'm talking about.
Subscribe, like, and share on all platforms. So everybody, here he is, the guy that stole my afro. I had one back. That's the word. Had mine would have been like this big if I never would have cut it off. It would have been big and gray. How you doing, Selwyn?
I'm doing all right. You stopped picking it out. That's what happened, man. You gotta keep picking it out. If you don't
Well,
use it, you lose it.
well, what happened was it's there's a little landing strip back there, a little bird landing strip in the back.
Little
That's not a good
bird's
look.
nest.
Yeah, that's not a good look. It's a no fro bird nest.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So it's good to see you.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So you're home. You're not working right now,
I mean, I'm working from home. I'm taking a break. I'm making a music video right now. I'm just all in about even to what time is it? I'm about 6 hours into editing today. I got like 9 hours in editing yesterday. I never understand how people sit around and wait for stuff to happen because
huh?
I've
Right.
always got something to do, man. It's crazy.
When you do it quite well, man. I've been watching you over the years. It's like you're pushing yourself, and staying out here and staying active all the time, man. You're always on the move, man. You're taking James Brown's old name, the hardest working man in show business.
I read in BB King's book that he said he was scared to stop touring because which is ironic. He says that he's scared to stop touring because he thought people would forget about him, and it's like, man, I ain't a centimeter of the level, and it's like I feel that way righteously. I can't imagine why he would feel that, but yeah, I feel like if I stop working, man, people would forget about you.
He he seriously thought that. He felt that. Matter of fact,
Hmm.
that was one of the last things he said to me before he passed. I was at his house. So he was in hospice, and he said, and he looked at me and touched my hand. He said, "Tony Cole, man, don't let him forget me, son." I was like, "I'll never let him forget you. Nobody's gonna forget you." He said, "I know you won't." Even in that part of his life, he was still thinking, "I hope people, remember me."
Yeah,
Yeah, he was great.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. But you're down in my hometown, where I was born in Kissimmee, right?
Well, I was born in Orlando. I moved to Tampa about 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so I'm on the West Coast now, which I prefer, man. The music scene is better. There's an active fan base. There's work. Near the water. I got to be near the water, man. That landlocked thing doesn't do it for me. I got to be able to
Yeah,
go fishing or something at the beach when I got some downtime.
yeah. You can't beat the beaches down there.
Oh yeah, man.
I love being on the beach, you know. And I used to live in Daytona Beach and was playing in a reggae band for a while.
Yeah. You
And I,
said you were living down there when the beaches were segregated, even.
yeah, oh yeah, man. I'm 70 years old, so I remember when we in the summertime we would go trips to the beach. We would go to the black beach.
Right.
Well, it wasn't the black beach. It was the colored beach then.
Wow.
All the black people had to go on one side of the beach, and down by where the Daytona Beach pier is, that pier right there, and
Yeah, it got
that was
blown away in a hurricane, man.
it did.
Yeah, man. That was a while ago now. They haven't had I mean, I think there might be a couple shots, but they used to have that pier that went way out into the
Yeah,
water.
that's the one.
Yeah, that got taken by a hurricane, man.
Yeah, I remember being a couple of my friends. We used to sneak down there and watch some of the white rock bands play on that pier, and the Allman Brothers used to play down there.
Oh
They
yeah.
they they were called the Almond Joys, the Almond Joys. I remember those days, and I remember when Derek and Greg used to hang out with these two black guys that had a blues band, and they were the black community car repair shop and paint cars and stuff, and inside of the shop they had those custom amps with the those rolling tuck amps. Do you remember those? You probably don't
Oh,
remember.
the KUST custom
Yeah,
KUST
yeah,
where it looks like an old car interior.
yeah, they had,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they had their amps in there. I even had a B3 with it on it. And I remember those, and they used to go there and rehearse with those guys playing blues and stuff. And
Yeah.
two old blues brothers, I forget their names, but they used to cuss me out all the time trying to show me how to play.
Yeah.
No, boy, pay attention, little boy. You gonna play anybody? You gotta play right. You understand me?
Yeah. Yeah.
But Daytona Beach, man, had a big, thriving music scene back there in the day when I was growing up.
Very
And,
cool, man.
and Bob Greenlee used to hang out down there a lot. You remember Bob?
King, I never met him, but I know I was chasing all of those King Snake people when as soon as I heard about them when I was in high school. People would I was trying to get out on the music scene and whatever little bit of scene they had in Central Florida, and King Snake always came up, but it was man, it was already way over with by the time I was conscious of it. But
Oh,
we used to rehearse at the old studio because my bass player lived at the studio,
who was
and
that?
his name was Augie Antoine.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember him.
yeah. So
Where is he?
he's still in Central Florida here somewhere, man. But yeah, this was when I was when I was in high school, but it was a while ago. But they still had all the memorabilia and everything of everyone who played there and the walls and stuff there. They had the console upstairs, and
Yeah,
it was a
I
real
did.
like,
I
ghost sort of thing.
yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
stepped on you. I did the first session there when Bob got that studio there with the Midnight Creepers. I did their first record with them.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when they built that studio, I used to go there and hang out. And
yeah.
then the Midnight Creepers did their first record. I'm playing on that record. Greg
That's
Allman came up and played on some of that stuff too.
yeah. I was
And he,
chasing all the people I saw on the walls there. Lucky Peterson and Noble Thin Man Watts and Ken
Noble Thin
Hill,
Man, yeah.
Ace Moreland. You know,
Ace is playing on my record. He passed. Yeah,
yeah.
and
Pack Rat Smokehouse and Sunny Roads and man,
well, you played with Sonny too, didn't you?
yeah, that's how I found out about him.
Oh, okay.
Because he was living in Central Florida, and actually a friend of mine in high school was his neighbor, and he's always saying, "Oh, my neighbor's got a blues band," because he knew I played guitar and played blues, and then I'm thinking it's just some drunk, weekend warriors or something in a garage.
Right.
He brought me one of his albums. It was called Blue Diamond was the name of the album. It had him on the cover with the turban and the jewel in his hair in his head. And man, as soon as I heard that, I said, "You got to introduce me to this dude." And it took about 6 months before I caught up to him. But he asked me. I brought my guitar over, played about half a song. He said, "Son, you got a passport?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man." He said, "Well, I'm going to take you on the road with me." And I'm thinking he's blowing smoke. And 3 weeks later, I'm all in the U.S. and Canada touring with him and seeing what all that stuff was about. Man, I was sold from the first day.
Yeah, man. Sonny was a good guy. He was a
Yeah,
good guy.
he wasn't lying. He told me, he said, "Man, by the time I'm done with you, you're gonna have some miles." And man, I'd never seen some. I would never be able to do that kind of touring like he did, man. Because the first show that we did, it was Calgary, Alberta, and we were leaving from Orlando, Florida, and we
Oh
drove
man, that's a
80,
drive.
88 hours to drive there, 89 hours driving back, man. It was brutal.
No gigs in between.
No, man, not a one. And we didn't even stop for hotels. We drove straight through, man. And that's why it's like, man, I never understand. You know, I appreciate it. I think you should encourage the youngsters that are playing, but it's like to push them up on the festival stage and it's like, oh, can he sit in? And in my head, I'm just like, man, I had to drive almost 90 hours in a van to get on my first festival stage. You know, it's like I had to come to it a harder way than that, than to just be, you know, cute and then they put you on a festival. It's like, God dang, man.
That's terrible, man. I hate to hear that, man. You got started off the hard way. You was a rough rider.
Oh man, it's something else to drive 40 hours and know you aren't even halfway there. And it's one of those things. I was already going in my head, is this really what I want to do? And it's like I came to the conclusion. I'm like, yeah. And it's like I still come to the conclusion. It's like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm gonna keep doing it, you know?
Well, people don't understand that part about what we do and what we have done, the sacrifices. It's very difficult to get in this business. A lot of people see you on stage having fun and they go, "Yeah, that's what I want to do," but you have no idea. Like I said, like you just said, 90 hours to get up there and do that and be on stage and be like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And that's all they see. People don't see all of that, what you just said. Not
No.
checking in a hotel, riding in a van. Man, that's rough. I'm getting nervous now hearing about it.
Oh man, the amount of I mean, the minuscule amount of guitar playing I do in my job is crazy. Like it doesn't seem like a fair trade at all, but you know, it keeps you chasing that dragon because when you're on stage, it is worth it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
when you're feeling that energy and feeling that connection, you know, with the audience, and you know, it feels like it's worth it every time. But man, it's a lot to get there.
Yeah, it's sort of like playing golf, you know, like when you play golf, you be yelling all day, "Four!" My golf game sucks so bad. I mean, it's like, really, why am I even trying this? But then when you catch that one ball, you go, "Yeah, I had a great day." Then you come back and do it again. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's amazing. So you grew up in Orlando.
Yeah, man. I grew up in Orlando. I moved to Tampa about 2010 and you know, really started getting my stuff with my band together there.
Yeah, so where did you go to school in Orlando? Did you go to Bethune Cook, not Bethune Cookman, Washington Carver?
No, I went to Lake Howell High School and then I went to University Central Florida.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, man. But yeah, I used to play all the other schools and basketball and stuff.
What position?
I played power forward. So
Okay.
I was small for a power forward, so I had to be meaner than everybody else. It's like-
And, and then you had your guitar when you were in school. Were you playing your guitar?
yeah, man, I started playing when I was 12 or 13 and you know, that was my other thing that I was obsessed with, man. Basketball was one and guitar was the other. So whenever I wasn't playing basketball, I was playing guitar and vice versa. And digging into, you know, blues music. I didn't know anybody that liked blues music. That's what trips me out now. You can see people with YouTube and stuff and you know, see that it's a thing, but it's like I had no idea. I just knew that it made me feel a certain way, so I'm trying to, uh, you know, go buy every blues album and find every blues
As a
artist I
as a
could.
young kid?
Yeah, man, 15, 16 years old.
That is
Um,
different.
and I didn't even know it was a thing. So it's like, it was definitely just for the love of it because it didn't make me any more popular listening to Sun House when I'm in high school, you know, but it
That's
grabbed me.
that's that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but now it's like you can see, you know, it's cool to like blues. It was not cool to like blues music when I was getting into it, man. It was for no other reason than that I love it, you know. It's
I hated the blues.
oh man.
I grew up. I did not like the blues, man. I used to hear it all the time growing up. You know, parents and grandparents around listening to blues, and man, I would be like, oh, I can't stand that music. You know, it was
So
like,
what was it at that time? Like Sonny Boy Williamson era, or like
oh
what?
yeah, I mean, it was, Muddy Waters, Wolf, and all of those guys. Actually, right across Catter Corner, across the street from my house, this old bootlegger guy. He played blues all the time, and he would sell whiskey. Even the sheriff would be over there buying his liquor. And he some when those old blues men come to town, they would stay at his house sometime, and they'd be drunk. They'd be out there and suited up in Florida with suits on, hot as hell, man. I was like, look at them drinking and partying and then play at night. But just seeing the black culture growing up, a young black kid seeing that, I just it just didn't intrigue me at all. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the music, and then when I heard some James Brown and stuff like that, that's when I was like, yeah, because I can play the beats.
Yeah, yeah.
But I never wanted to be in a blues band ever.
That's wild, man.
And to hear you saying that you were a little kid, young kid playing blues, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that's just what drew me. I started listening. A friend of mine gave me a Jimi Hendrix album, and I was just playing what was on the radio, and then I heard that, and I was like, man, it opened up in a different universe for me, and I was like, man, what would make someone write this kind of stuff? And I started trying to search who he listened to and what his influences were, and you find all the old blues guys, Buddy Guy and Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, Elmore James, and all those guys. And Buddy was coming to town. It seemed like the very same week, and I didn't know anything besides just seeing his name in the magazine or article that I saw. And I bought a ticket to see that. And I wasn't ready, man. I said, whatever this is what I want to learn. This is what I want to do. And if I wasn't already sold, I was definitely sold then, man.
That's great. That's great, man. That's
Crazy.
great. Was your first guitar acoustic or an electric guitar?
It was a cheap Squire electric guitar, and I had an amp. It must have had like a 3-inch speaker in it. It was just one of those little pocket amps. Because
Yeah.
my mom could barely afford the guitar. Then she found out, oh, you need a amplifier and a cable and stuff. So I had a cable. It was like this long, going into the little pocket amp, which was this big, and it was just barely enough to make a noise.
Was it one of
And
those pig nose amps?
not even, man. It was smaller than that.
Wow, really?
Yeah, man. It was just barely enough to make a sound, and I was happy as hell to have anything, and man, I did.
Was it this size?
Man, it was like that size without the head. For real. It was a little Fender, I think, model amp. It was like that big, man. And yeah, but it made I used to be so upset when I was a kid because we didn't have a lot of money, and we weren't starving, but we were broke. And it's like you didn't get any extra stuff. But I'm grateful for it now because it made me driven. It made me want to go out and work for what I wanted.
Exactly. Well, I was part of that system, that social system of welfare. My grandmother raised four of us, and we were on welfare and stuff like that. But I hear a lot of old blues men like BB. They said, "Yeah, I was poor, but I didn't really realize it. It didn't really bother me. I mean, hell,
Right.
I knew it. It bothered the hell out of me."
I didn't know until I went to because it's like when you're a kid, your parents will try to just keep you happy, and it's
Right.
like when you don't have much, or what Muddy Waters say you can't miss what you ain't got, you can't
That's right.
lose what you never had. But it's like I remember going to a friend's house on Christmas morning, and I just had already opened. It took me 2 seconds to open my presents because there was only about like one and a half.
Yeah, right.
And you go over to his house, and man, they had a whole room of presents. I was like, how? And I couldn't understand. I thought that was just something they made up in movies. I said, how? I'm like 6 years old, saying, how can your parents afford this? Because
Right.
all I knew was, oh, we can't afford that. We can't. It's like a 6-year-old talking about, can you afford?
Right.
Yeah, crazy.
So you got your little amp, and your little guitar and your little Squire amp. I mean, your Squire guitar and your little amp. Now you're practicing and you're practicing the blues. Now, did you get one of those little garage bands? You start playing in a garage band like most of us?
Man, I couldn't even find anyone that liked the music enough to even do that. So I'm just playing by myself for the most part for a few years, and then I found out they had some blues jam or something, local blues jam, and just looking back, it's just horrendous, not good. But it was at least somewhere to go to try, and went out there and bring my guitar, and none of them took me seriously till I start playing. And, I still run across some of them because, they were a-holes, to tell you the truth. They were so condescending and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, what are you going to play? I'm like, isn't this a blues jam? They're like, oh, yeah, but what are you going to play? It's like,
Right.
Man, I was only 16 or 17 at that time, but I listened to enough. I had enough in my ears to know that they weren't doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're talking down to me, but it was like, you got to start somewhere, man. So
Did
I
you
just have to.
did you ever go to the junkyard in Orlando?
No, you know what, man? I heard stories about that the whole time I was kind of growing up, especially at those blues jams and stuff. And I even when I went up to see you in New York for the BB King tribute, they had Bobby Rush and Derek Trucks and William Bell, Robert Randolph. I mean, everybody was up there. I stopped and talked to Derek Trucks, and I asked him because him specifically, they said, "Oh, I used to go see Derek Trucks at the junkyard when he was only 11, 12 years old. The guitar was bigger than him." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Man, you remember
Yeah,
a place called the junkyard?" He said, "Oh, yeah, man."
Yeah, I used to go jam with him and sit in with him, when he was,
Yeah,
cause his uncle and I were friends, Butch, from the
yeah,
Allman Brothers, the drummer Butch Trucks,
yeah, man.
and I used to go down there and they'd be like, "Oh, Tony Coleman's here, Tony!" They were all excited. Now they see me, they go, "Ah, Tony Coleman's here." No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. But I remember when he was a little kid playing, and he could smoke. He was smoking, boy. He was burning that guitar up. It's
I've seen a
amazing.
few videos, man, and it's not even as much as all that he was playing, but his feel even then was, God dang, man.
Yeah, we sicked him on John Mayer. We sicked him on John Mayer. You can see that video on YouTube with John Mayer come out there and sit down
Yeah.
beside, then BB, get him, get him.
Then you started sicking kingfish on people. I've seen that video too.
Yeah. Well, when Kingfish came to the waterfront, I don't like to talk about this story. I would rather hear Kingfish tell it, but
Yeah.
I took him in to see Buddy at the Waterfront Fest, and Buddy was sitting there. I said, "Hey, Buddy, got this young man here. You want to check him out?" He said, "Yeah, I think I heard him." He said, "What's his name? Catfish or something?" I said, "You know how Buddy?" I said, "It's
Yeah.
Kingfish." I said, "It's Kingfish." He said, "Well, I don't know what kind of fucking fish he is, but can he play?" And he said, "Did you play for me, open for me?" And Kingfish said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You got your axe?" He said, "Not with me. It's across the street in the hotel." He said, "Man, you got to keep your axe with you, man." I said, "Buddy, get him on the stage. Get him on the stage." And Peter Damon, the promoter, artist promoter, said, "I don't think you
Right.
should ask him that." I said, "Shut up, Peter. I knew Buddy before you even thought about being a blues guy." And I
Yeah.
said, "Buddy, get him on the stage." And Buddy said, "Well, Tony, I don't run these people's festivals. I don't know if they got amps." I said, "Man, they got 9 amps up there, buddy. Come on, get him up there." He said, "All right, well, go tell him to get an amp up there for him." And I told Kingfish, I said, "When you get up there, you play your ass off. You play your ass off. You understand? Like somebody got a gun pointed at you. You understand me? Don't take no prisoners." And he did it, boy. And then Buddy was like, being Buddy guy, wait a goddamn minute. Hold on. Fuck. I'm gonna get out the way and let these two young boys have it. And
Yeah.
Tim asked me, "Tony, you want to sit in?" I said, "No, I just sat there by the side fields and videoed it."
Yeah. Yeah.
And the rest is history. He's kicking ass all over the place.
So happy to see it, man. It just,
Yeah, it's so good to see the young cats like him and DK and all those guys. Those the
I just
young
saw
to
DK
see.
last week.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to you about it and him because
Yeah.
I did the podcast on him and do another one next coming out Wednesday, this part 2 of it. But to see the young guy, the young black musicians playing the blues, it's very happy feeling for me. It's very exciting to see that because so many kids today don't know how to play instruments. They just listen to the rap and program stuff, but to be able to play an instrument like yourself, I mean, you've been playing, man. How many years now?
Oh man. 28 years now. That's not right. Yeah, 20. God dang. Yeah, 20.
But
Woo.
but you still feel the same as you did when you started.
I'm still happy about it, man.
Yeah,
Anytime I
yeah,
get that thing up, man. But like I said, there seemed to be a kind of a drought because now they've got just as good a class as any of some of the younger black blues musicians with Kingfish and John Tavius Willis and
yeah.
Marquise
Oh
Knox.
yeah, yeah. Marquise.
Then they got Stephen Hull coming up after him and DK and Mac McDonald and all these. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh
man,
yeah. That's right. I
these
love to
cats
see them. I
are
love them,
killing,
man.
man. There was a kind of a drought, it seemed like. So when I came out, there was Jerika Singleton came out at the same time, but he's put it down even again now. But yeah, man, I'm so excited about these younger musicians taking this thing up, man. It's amazing.
But you've been doing a lot of stuff, writing. You write your songs, and you've been very, kind of Prince like. You've been producing all your stuff and coming up with all these different ideas about you. You don't have anybody writing for you. You seem to write all your own material.
No, that's my thing, man. I was hanging out with people that listen to rock music and stuff when I was first getting started, and it was not cool to play covers. Like it was, you wanted to be anything but a cover band. There was such an insult, and even if the song sucked, it's your song. It was
Right.
the sort of mentality. This is mine. Well, what do you got? Sort of a thing. And I just, I, I just think the music is a different thing when someone is sharing of their own story and their own kind of soul into the music rather than just remaking this song and that song. I mean, it just feels really lazy to me. It doesn't take someone much to get someone to like a song that they already love. And man, I think the harder thing to do is to move somebody the same way with your own music than to, just play the hits. And it's like, of course it's going to work. That's why they're hits.
Well, I have a new thing I say now because BB asked me to say that. Well, in my opinion, and
you know,
I have a lot of opinions.
oh, the whole world know that, man.
And in my opinion, the blues, what makes the blues uh, only sell 2% of the Recording Industry Association of America says blues only sell like 2% of music, in my opinion, is because you keep doing Sweet Home Chicago over and over and over and over. And I mean, I got my mojo working, I mean, how many damn times that mojo still working? I mean, god dang, I'm tired of that mojo. I mean, Sweet Home Chicago. Okay, I get it. I grew up musically playing in Chicago, but god dang, man, ain't nothing sweet about it right now. Can we move on?
Right,
It's like
right.
it's like being that hamster on a wheel, and
Yep,
he moving all fast as he can, but he ain't going nowhere. And
yep.
that to me, blues music has that problem because it's been rocked and rolled to death. And I don't know. I think it's great to see you doing your own songs, some new style blues. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's the idea is to, take all the influences and the sounds that I like and try to mix them up in the pot to hopefully sound, like myself. And, I always say at my live shows, I want it to be so when you hear a band like us, you hear a band that sounds kind of like us. And you know, that's not the people that get it, really get it. Then you got a whole bunch of other people that say, oh, that doesn't sound like exactly like Muddy Waters or BB King. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's supposed to sound like me. And it
Right.
doesn't mean that I don't like that. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I can't play some of that stuff, but it doesn't make sense to me to be up there telling someone else's story. It starts to feel fraudulent after a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Well, you do a good job. I like your band too. Your band is unique. You still got Reggie playing that sax.
Yeah, man, we got a baritone sax, drum, bass, keyboards, and myself. And I'm hoping this year we've got a new album going to be out in March, and I'm hoping to add another horn to the band. I feel like that's the full sound in my head is to have at least two horns to really
Yeah.
do this thing right. You know.
It's good to see a fresh sounding band other than just you're not just guitar all day. Get damn tar.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like the guitar is after a while seeing all these flashy guitar solos is kind of like seeing drummers today that play all over the place all the time and just don't keep that pocket, make you do like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what I like. I come to feel the blues, not hear it.
yeah, yeah,
And it's always somebody that's going to come along that can play faster than you and louder than you, always. And then after a while, it's like, I'm sorry, I ain't getting it.
yeah. I mean, I love guitar, but I'm really kind of a self-loathing guitar player of like I don't want to hear it all the time. It has to serve a purpose, like with anything else in music. And it's like, sometimes we'll play a song, I'll be like, man, I just want to hear sax on this song or some I just want to hear keyboards on this. It's like it doesn't always have to be about the guitar unless it's got a purpose. And that's just I don't want to go hear a band and just hear a loud guitar for 2 hours. I mean, it's a lot, but if you do it tastefully, that it's even more, man.
Yeah, yeah. But what the soul of the blues for me, since and I know we're having a podcast. It's not the Tony Coleman about me thing, but it is my podcast. I can talk about me as long as I want. But but the essence and the soul of blues music is a lot of it is not there. It's missing. Like you don't have to sound like BB or Muddy Waters and all those other great guitar players that you never hear talked about, like Wayne Bennett with Bobby Blue Bland and
Oof.
Mel Brown and these guys. They had so much feeling, but the soul, the essence of blues music is missing for me. Those guys had soul. They didn't have to turn flips, backward flips, and the music made you feel good, made you swoon, made you rock, made you feel good, and made you dance.
Yeah,
And I don't feel like dancing a lot when I hear some of these blues, what they call blues. And blues to me is the soul to make you feel something other than looking at somebody turning somersaults and flips on the guitar.
yeah, 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 for sure, man. I like listening to a lot of the younger cats more than the older ones these days. It just they really are more tuned to the type of stuff that I like listening to, and I'm there's fewer and fewer acts anymore because so many guys are dropping that there's fewer and fewer that are still living that I want to hear anymore. Kind of crazy, man.
What
Yeah.
what's your what's your take on the new music, incorporating some of the new music, hip hop and stuff like that into your writing? You have any concepts like that you want to take a piece of the youth and put it in your stuff?
Man, I do, but it's a weird thing because I'm signed with Alligator Records, and that's always the dream. It's like, oh man, everyone wants to talk about, oh, we need to get young people liking this, and we need to we need to get a younger audience and this and that. but no one's taking any risk to get a younger audience. They think they're going to get an audience by just doing the same thing they keep doing, and it's like that's not how it works. But you know, I think that there is a sound that can be made still the same way that hip hop, you know, sampled all this music from the 70s. I mean, half of that stuff in the 90s was just music from the 70s that they sampled.
Yeah.
And they were able to tell their own story over that same sort of dance music, and everybody loved it. And you know, I think in my opinion, I think that
you have the right to have one.
I think that you know, you could do the same thing, but it's like you aren't going to be able to do it in the same way. And for me, I think the perfect example of it was that movie Sinners. You know, they took the rootsy blues music, and they were able to put, I mean, on some of those songs, they even put some trap beats over it. And
Yes.
it was killing. And it's something that young people now can relate to that, but they might not necessarily be instantly drawn to, you know, Sweet Home Chicago or whatever else that people are trying to force down everyone's throats, man.
Well, I've been saying this for years and years and years. It's time to put a new spin on it. Like they say, get a makeover. It's time for the blues to get a makeover, in my opinion, because that's why it's so difficult for young people to gravitate toward hearing the old blues over and over and over and over and over. So I mean, I'm looking at the situation like this, and this is the way I look at it, which a lot of people get upset with me saying it, but I'm not trying to be in no blues band rolling up and down the highway like you did with Sonny Rhodes. Uh, and I'm looking at rap, hip hop artists, mega tours, filling arenas, stadiums even, and doing the music they do and generating dollars and money and success doing what they do. But then I hear blues musicians criticizing them and saying that ain't shit. That's a bunch of bullshit. And I'm going, let me see, bunch of bullshit. They making millions of dollars, filling arenas, 3 and 4 and 5 tour buses, 6 trucks full of gear. I mean, success, and you're saying that's bullshit. I don't understand why you can't go over there like I do and watch it and listen to it. And now I'm thinking, what would be cool is to take what they're doing and put a little bit of that in what I'm doing and fuse it together. And now,
Well, it's again, I feel like you can do that all you want, but then if you try to put it in front of the same audience, or no one wants to give you a shot with it, then you're still stuck. Because I mean, a great example for, if you want to hear a really good example of it, man, are you hip to Buffalo Nichols?
I am not.
Man, he did an album, and this was before that Sinners movie came out. He did an album that was, I mean, a perfect mix of putting hip hop beats over authentic blues music, because he can play anything from the root to the fruit, you know.
Text
But
me that name so I can check him out.
absolutely, but you listen, he did a cover of "You're Gonna Need Somebody to Pay Your Bond." And he did it like a trap version, but I mean, he did it with acoustic guitars and stuff. It's murderous, man. And it's one of those things that if you were to give somebody like that a chance and put them in front of that rap crowd, it's gonna go over. But ain't
Yeah.
nobody's gonna want to take that chance, man. It's kind
Let
of
me
crazy.
just let me just halt you for 1 second. You just said the key words, putting that in front of the blues audience. That's my pernt, as a man used to say. That's my pernt. BB used to say pernt instead of point. That's the pernt I'm trying to make. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to stay in front of those folks that's keeping
yeah.
me in that. I want to go over here to this crowd and do my flavor with their flavor, so I can get away from the same old. Got my mojo working. I no, I do not.
Yeah.
So I don't. You got to revolve and evolve in this business to become, new and fresh, your surroundings. You know, singing about the same old stuff. It's like redundant. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even match where we live today.
Yeah.
You know, I did a Drumeo video talking about blues and stuff, and I like to watch the comments. I read all the comments. I love the bad ones. I love the
Yeah.
bad ones. Like the guy said, "Man, that guy sucks. He can't play." And then one guy said, "I noticed he's got a double bass kick going. Fred Belo didn't play with a double bass kick on his blues." And then
Yeah.
I commented, and I actually commented. I said, "Well, Fred Belo didn't have a cell phone either, did he? What's your point?"
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, like, are we ever going to evolve? Now, we can acknowledge doing the old stuff and give credits to BB and all that, and Bobby and everybody and Albert King, but we still need to evolve to today to become valid in today's existence. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, at some point, I don't like traditions. It was a tradition. You get to hang people that look like me, you know.
Yeah.
You want to keep that tradition too? Well,
Yeah.
that's another story. But I'm saying musically, the blues has to evolve. You know,
Yeah.
Miles Davis, I love him, man, because he changed, like he said, I changed jazz 5 times. That's what they call it. I don't play jazz. I play mouse.
Right.
You know, you don't play BB King. You play Selwyn.
Yeah.
So I think to get the younger crowd so we can make that kind of money to pay attention to us is to do our flavor and come over there and bring in some of their stuff with our stuff and make a whole new thing, you know.
Well, you got to have people. You got to have musicians that are able to take that risk. You got to have other people that are willing to promote it and put it out there and stuff. But I don't know, man. I don't have any answers. I just try to do what I do. I'm excited on this new album. It's going to be out March 27th, and I took some risks on my side. And you know, I couldn't be happier with the results, man. One of the songs is talking about, you know, the algorithm and social media and stuff. And I actually sampled the sound of dial-up modem because I always thought that was funky. That doo doo.
Yeah.
That's and I put that in the song. And man, it's part of the song. It's one of the instruments is that modem sound. And
I like that.
man, it's just one of those things. It's like I don't have any answers, but I try to make the music that I want to hear, and the music that I want to hear tells a current story or expresses, you know, current emotions and does it in some sort of an imaginative way to make you want to listen to something more. It's like it makes you feel like maybe you haven't heard something exactly like this before, and that's what I was always drawn to, and I miss hearing that in music, man.
Yeah, and I don't have an answer, but I don't care about that. Me personally, I don't care about trying to convince anybody of what should happen anymore because I'm 70 years old. I don't give a shit. I ain't gonna be here forever. I say what I gotta say, and because I mean, why should I die going away, not saying what I had to say? I know too many people in my black history that just kept their mouth shut and didn't do anything because they were afraid or they were scared to piss people off. Well, you
Yeah,
know, I can you imagine? I just be like, hey man, what if I know damn well when those Wright brothers was out there on that hill looking at birds, talking, man, we can fly. I'm sure their neighbors was like, man, them boys crazy, that mother right there.
yeah, man.
They talking about flying,
Yeah,
you know, and now, duh. So I see things that people say, oh, that don't make no sense. Well, it doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me, so I'm gonna do it. And that's where
yeah.
I'm headed with my producing and my music. I'm getting ready to, you know, try to incorporate things that are pertaining to today's life where we live today. I don't live back there picking cotton and be talking about BB had a mule, talking about plowing and all. I ain't behind no mule. I wasn't doing all that. I
Well,
can't.
I never understand how people just seem to completely miss the part where all the people that they're pointing you towards, oh, you need to sound like them, you know, Muddy Waters and you know, all those guys were at the forefront of making that music, man. It's like he took it from an acoustic thing to, or even a field holler thing, to putting it onto instruments and doing an acoustic thing to having it translate to piano and have it translate to being electrified and having all the way up to, you know, BB having a big band sort of a thing, since he grew up listening to,
That's
you know,
right.
Duke Ellington and all these kind of jazz cats and stuff. And it's like, but it was always on the forefront of the music. And
Yeah.
even those guys, Muddy Waters did Electric Mud, and Howlin' Wolf did stuff with the British guitarists and people that, and the BB, every decade BB had a new sound. He was still BB King, but in the 70s he sounded
Right.
like the 70s. In the
That's
80s
right.
he sounded like the 80s. In the, you know what I mean?
I
I don't
know exactly
understand
what you mean.
why they tried to say, well, it has to sound exactly like 1960. Why? It doesn't
no.
make any sense, man.
That's how I got in the band with BB in 1978, is because the Crusaders put out Midnight Believer. They produced BB. You know, the band, the Crusaders. They used to be called the Jazz Crusaders. Then they became a
Right.
little more contemporary and called themselves the Crusaders. And they was playing funk, and Pops Popwell played the bass on Never Make You Move Too Soon. You know, he was playing popping and that octave, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam. That had never been done with a blues artist before.
Yeah.
And Pops Popwell, recorded that bass like that on that track. And BB's band, they couldn't play the song because it was too funky.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. And the bass is do 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 doom do doom do 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 doom. Bing bam bing bam bing. And this guy was boom 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 boom. And then when we came up there and jammed with BB and played it, boom bam boom, he was like boom pop. Yeah, all right, all right. See, so they lost their job, and then the young Coleman and Jackson and us came in and got the gig because we were the young youth that could play like the Crusaders, and they could not.
Mhm.
So BB always, and if you look at BB as an example, he's played with every genre of music as BB King that
Yeah.
exists, from
Yeah.
Pavarotti to Willie Nelson to everything. So I'm just saying, musically, blues can evolve too. Blues doesn't have to be just a bunch of guitar whacking and all of that. You know,
Yeah.
where's the funk? Where's the feeling? Where's the groove?
Yeah.
So I ain't mad at the guitar. I'm not mad at the guitar wankers. You know, the what do they call them? The what do you call it when you play guitar real fast? The
Brothers.
yeah, I'm not,
I,
go for it. But I
I think
saw a
you
video
were
where
you were right the first time.
and I'm like, man, god dang, man. And somebody actually used and I don't know if it's A and I, but they have BB playing out of tune. And you ever seen this one where BB King is playing? He's like making his faces like he does,
Yeah.
and it's going bang, 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 bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang. I was like, that's terrible, man. Why do you do
Yeah.
that?
Those
But
videos those videos were funny till they did BB like that.
yeah, it's like that's why I be on stage, man. Sometimes when people was yelling at BB, and I'd be like, man, if I could get off this stage, I'll whoop your ass so quick, insulting the old man like that.
It's
But
crazy.
it's a way to fuse. I actually see you being able to do that, Selma, because you just have a whole different demeanor about yourself on stage. You seem relaxed and having fun and just being self and just being yourself, and you're not trying to like emulate anybody. And I appreciate you for doing that. And I think you would be a perfect guy for me and get in the studio with you, and let's let's try some of this stuff that we're talking about right now.
Let's do it, man. I ain't scared.
Don't be scared, son.
Don't don't talk about it, be about it.
Okay, we're going to do it because I'm getting my own recording studio built so I can.
You know not to to be careful to tell me stuff because I'll show up, man.
I know you showed up up there in New York City, and
You told me about that in New York City. I was on a plane the next day. Then you told me about the shindig at the BB King Museum, and I show up in
yeah, you
Mississippi the
did.
next week. And
And I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, man, so much for that, man. I
yeah,
really do, Selwyn, because that's really what it's all about, man. That's what we're all about. It's not about being exclusive. It's about being inclusive. I'm
yeah,
not. I'm not. I'm not. I like all musicians. When I see them, I'm less happy to be around musicians. Rock, country. I play with everything and everybody, man. And I'm just happy to be with musicians. That's the way I grew up. The younger ones and the older ones. The young ones be right there. The old ones be on your ass. If you play Scottish music or whatever, I don't. I'm there. I
yeah,
love music, but
yep.
that's what I appreciate about you because you it's just good to see musicians being friendly and inspiring each other. That's the way I recall being a musician. No matter who I saw, no matter where they came from, if you played music, we're like a family, a fraternity.
I just miss being, I just miss being inspired by music though because of even the mainstream stuff, if you want to talk about rap and hip hop and stuff, I mean, yeah, the money is there through that, through pop, through country and stuff, but it's so commercialized and turned into such a commodity that it's lost all that kind of soul. And it's like the internet allows us to find pockets of musicians that are still soulful and that type of thing, but it's definitely less and less. And man, I miss being inspired by music so much and really being moved by music. And it's happens less and less, and always kind of chasing the dragon. And it's like I'll catch it every once in a while, but it's less and less these days, man. It's not as much.
Well, a perfect example is just go on YouTube and pull up the older records with Sam and Dave and Stax or James Brown and BB and Albert King and what I call the soul is even country music, uh, any music. The soul of it is when it's just kind of raggedy, when it's kind of like going to uh, the local farm to get your vegetables. It's not all packaged. Not every piece of fruit is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Some are different shapes, and different colors, but they're just nutrient and good. But now everything's got to be, you go into the shopping centers and the food is perfect,
Shiny.
dyed, shiny. I know
Yep.
damn well that thing. And Buddy Guy and I talked about this because he grows his own food and Buddy's a cook. But we
Yeah.
say, man, now everything's processed. And now where's the
Yeah.
flavor and the ingredients? It's not there. So that's what I be talking about. Like, you get in the studio and somebody asks me, so Tony, did you play with when BB, did you guys play with tracks? I said, tracks? You didn't play with click tracks? I said, man, in blues, man, the only click you hear is a pistol click. You mess up again, I'll show you a click. But listen to those records, you can hear the foot pedals squeaking on James Brown. I'm super bad. That's a
Yeah.
Ludwig foot pedal. That's a Ludwig foot pedal squeaking. It used to squeak. I could hear that on the record.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear like on Sticks Hooper, the drummer in the Crusaders, and then there was the blues babe. He makes a turn around and click the sticks. You hear it. And on I Wanna Get Funky, Albert King, I wanna get funky. Listen to the vamp. When he starts playing, Al Jackson's drop the stick and pick it back up and start playing at the vamp. That's
Yeah.
soulful. That's soulful. They didn't
Yeah.
go, you drop the stick, you click the sticks, you out of tune, Albert. Hell, I'm playing, I'm feeling it. That's soul. That's what I call soul. It's real. It don't have to be perfect.
Well, it's honest. It's
Yeah.
I think anything can be kind of real and whatever, but it's honest, man, and it's that's a lot of it is missing for me nowadays, you know.
Yeah. So if you don't want to play like that, if people, you know, I use analogies like, man, the best hamburger I ever had was my grandmother's hamburger, man.
Mm,
My mother did cook some hamburgers, boy. Man, those hamburgers used to taste good. And then I notice when people have a restaurant and they might have cookies or whatever selling it out of the trunk of their car, and then when they become big, now they got them factory made, and it's perfect. It's not the same. And we're bigger now. We're bigger, yeah, but the food is not the same.
yeah, man.
What happened to that old greasy food? Now you don't have to, like it, but don't say it's not worthy because it's not packaged properly. Some of the
Yeah.
best restaurants in the world are just people cooking regularly, and some of the best music. And I think I'm getting off the track here.
You
But
getting hungry talking about food, man.
man, those barbecue ribs,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Everybody
Talk-
don't eat barbecue. Let's eat healthier.
uh,
But your music is great, and I see you. I see you being one of the cats to evolve the soul of music with the way you perform and the way you play. I mean, hey man, you the perfect guy. Look at you. You got an afro. Come on, how much natural can you get than that, man?
well, I don't know, man. I don't really think even that much into it. I just try to write the stuff that I want to hear,
Good.
and try to get it out the best that I can. But it's one of those things that it doesn't have everything isn't for everybody, man. And it's
Oh
like I feel like that's what they try to do now. It's like they try to make everything for everybody. It's like no, it's just some stuff is just for certain people. And with my music, everybody doesn't have to like it, man. The people that
no,
do like it really like it, and
that's right.
that's good enough for me, man. It's I don't have to sell out arenas in every city. If I can get such and such amount of people every city I go to, then I'm happy about it. They're there to hear it. We're there to give it, and I'm happy, man. It just I don't know. I don't know if I'm just low maintenance or what, but that's good enough.
No, no, you're just being Selwyn.
Yeah.
You're just being who you are. But now I say but anytime the but come in the conversation. But I do I do have a vision for blues music to, like I said, evolve into being able to hit the younger generation that I see out here. I don't I see everything being big. I mean, Willie Nelson. I've been knowing Willie Nelson forever. He's a good one of my bestest friends in the business in the world. Nicest man I know. But I remember when Willie Nelson first started out in Nashville, he's just like Miles Davis. Willie Nelson had the crew cut, the suit on, and was writing songs the like Nashville wanted, and just the same musicians on every artist's record in the studio. And then Willie and Waylon and Tom Paul and these country guys, they were like, man, screw that, man. I want to use my band. Yeah, but your band's out of tune. And we want no. Well, that's me. And then Willie said, "The hell with Nashville," and moved back down to Texas and Austin. And Waylon and those guys got together and became outlaws because they didn't want to keep doing the same system.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of country artists like Cody Jinks. These guys, they started out just building their fan base on their own. And they didn't have anybody telling them you need to do this and you should do this and you should do that. It was like screw you, I'm doing me.
Hmm.
And they just Willie is a perfect example. He's another one like that. I just love the fact that those people got off of that program way of thinking about doing stuff.
You got to get off the merry-go-round, man. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it just keep spinning. You aren't moving anywhere, but you're
yeah.
going in circles, man.
And yeah, I'll play a bar, I'll play a backyard barbecue. But hell, man, you don't think I would prefer to be making all that money and playing in arenas too? I mean, I'm just keeping it real for TC. I like that, man. I
Yeah.
I work with Jamie Johnson out there, and I watch Jamie, and hell, Jamie got his own plane, and he got 3 buses out there for the crew and the band, and Jamie fly himself to his gig or whatever, and then he'll say, "Hey, Tony Coleman, I'm gonna get on the plane and go home." And we're up in Idaho. He say, "Anybody want to come on the plane and get back home?" Nah, man, I'm good on the bus. I'll take the 2.5 days to get back. I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going with Jamie on the plane." But I'm just simply saying, doing better and better and better, and making life easier for you through your music. I ain't mad at that. But
Yeah.
if if we make some music and you start selling millions of records, and it is a possibility for you to do that just like anybody else. And now they say, "Hey, Selwyn, we got this show we want you to do. It's going to be like 100,000 people, and this tour, basically every tour is going to be 70,000 plus people, and you're going to make a lot more money and this and that. You want to do it?"
It sounds awful, man. It sounds awful.
And you're gonna be staying at all the best hotels, and you can fly in with your own plane.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. And then they say, "Oh no, Howlin' Wolf wasn't playing in a arena. Hey, little Walter wasn't in a Ritz Carlton. I'm not gonna do it." It's like, man, come on, dude.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, Wolf didn't have a tech on stage.
crazy, man. But
No,
I appreciate you always thinking of me to have me on, man. This is
no.
definitely time, man.
I'm glad, and we'll have you on again, man. I'm just doing my own podcast because I have a lot of things to talk about. You know, I
Yeah,
have a lot of opinions.
for sure. Well, we'll definitely do it again, man. Don't be a stranger to me.
No, absolutely not. And we'll get together and start doing some stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
And my podcast, for those who are listening, is about people who I know and people that I don't know, and just having conversations. It's not necessarily about. So, man, did you pick oranges when you were a kid?
Right, right.
It's we're just having a conversation like we do when we get together, and you guys are checking us out. And I love you, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Love you too, bro.
One other question though before you go. You have any of those alligators coming around and pythons coming around, man, down there in Florida? They getting out of hand, man. What's up with
Oh,
that, man?
they don't have to come around. They're already here. They stay around, man.
Well, be careful out there, man, and I'll talk to you and see you later.
All right,
And
man.
thanks for doing my podcast.
Anytime, bro. You know it.